There we go. Week 2, run 1, done, in the books. When you get a day like today, you take advantage of it and get a good run in. And this week 2, I've shuffled up the runs again. I don't have time on Friday this week to run, so I'm actually still in week 1 on Sunday, and I did my long run for the week. So shuffling things up again. These first 4 weeks are going to be tough with the travel that we're doing. Like I said, in the first week, sometimes you just have to adjust and do the run you can. I could fit in this long run, which was a 10K, about 6.2 miles. I was able to fit this in today since we were back early from the soccer tournament. That way my runs during the week, when I have less time during the day, they're all the shorter runs. So all works out. As I'm walking to cool down, I figure I'll give a little bit of time to talk about the gear I have, the things that I bring with me on a run. First off, headphones. I prefer these open ear bone conduction headphones. That way I can hear traffic coming by. They're also very water resistant or waterproof. So if I'm sweating a lot or if it happens to be raining, they're protected. I used to use the Apple AirPods, but between sweat and rain, they weren't always functioning the best they could. These have been awesome. They're the Open Run by Shocks. Next up, today, just because there's no clouds in the sky, got some sunglasses on. I don't always run with them, especially in the mornings when it's colder, because they'll get fogged up as I'm running. But it is fairly warm for right now. Definitely the warmest run I've had in a while. It's about 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So that was the hurdle for me today, was the temperature. Warmer than I'm used to running in at the moment. I'm used to running in kind of the 40 to 50 degree temperature range. Next up, I've got my hat. This is kind of a dual purpose sweat collection and helping to keep the sun out of my eyes. If I don't wear the hat, I usually have a buff or headband or something that I wear just to help keep sweat off my face. Next piece of gear is the Camelback. This one's pretty important for hydration. I can carry my phone, house keys, car keys, the GoPro equipment, and then if I'm on longer runs like I am today, I usually bring some extra fuel if I need it. I fortunately didn't need it this run, but anytime I'm doing about an hour run or longer, I'll bring it just in case. I kind of pace it out with these the blocks. I do a block probably every 2 miles or so. But hydration is important. You want to make sure that you don't get dehydrated on a run, because that's not fun. I used to run with a much bigger Camelback, one of the 3-liter ones. This is a smaller one. I think it's just 1 liter. And that's enough for me for these runs so far. Again, as I get to longer runs, I may have to adjust and switch back to a larger Camelback. I've also got my Apple Watch. That is another way I can control the running app that I use, get visualization on my pace and all that. Shoes are another important piece of gear. These are some Hoka shoes. I don't remember the model offhand. They've got a carbon fiber plate in them that helps return some of the energy. So on longer distance runs, you're not as fatigued. You can keep a higher pace. They're pretty nice. So that's it for the first run of week 2. Again, it's a shuffled week. Normally you do the long run the last run of the week. I'm doing it as the first run of the week. That's me signing off. Week 2, run 1. There we go. Week 2, run 2, done and in the books. This is another morning run. Beautiful morning here, just as the sun was coming up. And this was just a short 15-minute recovery run. Nothing too long. It's always nice having a shorter run the day after a long run, just to get rid of the tiredness in your legs while still doing something. One of the coaching points in this morning's run was the difference between consistency and constantly. And I'm currently doing what you should not be doing in constantly running, just because I have travel planned and I lose weekends, so I have to try and fit in the runs when I can. Do not do that. I do not recommend it. I'm doing it because I'm already at a level of fitness that I know I can handle it, but it still wears me down. And for somebody that's just starting to run or getting back into running, it is definitely not a good thing to do. What is a good thing to do is build that consistency in running, build that foundation. And it can be small runs, it can be short runs, it can be slow runs, it can even be long runs and fast runs. Just as long as you're keeping at it, that way your body builds that resiliency with running. You start getting used to what it feels like when you start running, when you've been running for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. You know what your body's gonna feel like. You know how you'll know how to respond to it, how to slow things down if you need to, how to pick things up if you realize you're losing focus, and just learning more about what you need to do on your own. One thing to definitely keep in mind is that they are your runs. They're not my runs. They're not somebody else's runs. So you run what you're able to do and be proud of what you're able to accomplish. For me right now, running a mile, running 15 minutes is just a morning warm-up. For you, that could be the longest thing you've ever done. So it's different levels of success, different levels of accomplishment, but it's still, for each person, it's still building that consistency, getting more and more used to running at different times of day, different temperatures, different weather conditions, different roads, different trails. There's a lot to learn with running. It seems like it would be just something simple. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other at a quicker pace than walking. But no, our bodies are different every single day, depending on what we eat, what we drink, how much we slept, what we did the day before, what we know we have to do left in the day. Because we have all those variables, we have a lot to learn when we're running. And because we have a lot to learn when running, consistency is important. There's not a single thing you can learn and do well in just one attempt. Everything takes practice. Everything takes that consistency. You don't learn a subject in school just from taking one class. You don't learn how to speak a language in just one day. Everything takes consistency, keeping at it. So you could be watching these videos as you're training to run your first marathon or training to run your first mile. The messaging, I think, at this point in training is going to sound repetitive. I'm going to keep saying it over and over again. Do what you can to start building that foundation for whatever it is that you're doing. Running a mile, running a 5K, running a 10K, a half marathon, a marathon, whatever distance, whatever time it is that you're trying to reach or beat, take baby steps. Small incremental improvements over time will add up to big gains in the long run. Be happy with what you can achieve, because it is your goal. It is your run. It's your action, not somebody else's. And only you know that you're putting in your best, and you know, only you know, when you need to step back so that you can keep giving it your best. So be happy, be proud, be smart, and just strive for that 1% better every day right now. And you'll get there in the end. All right, there we go. Week 2, run 3 in the books. One of the coaching points in today's run that I think is good to talk about was definition of confidence and how it related to kind of the belief and trust in a person's own abilities. And I think that's really important, especially in an early part of training, is to trust your abilities. Don't be comparing yourself to what someone else can run for a distance or what someone else can run for a pace. Be confident in what you can do. Focus on that. Focus on running a single lap to the best of your abilities and build from there. Try not to be competing against others when you're training. You should be focused on kind of competing against yourself. Don't compare your pace to someone else's pace. Compare your pace today to your pace yesterday. Compare it to a week ago, compare it to a month ago, and see how you're improving, see how you're beating yourself and getting better while still building that foundation, that consistency, and not getting discouraged because you can't meet some unrealistic goal for yourself at your point in your training. So if you're watching this and you're early in a training plan for whatever it is that you're doing, don't get discouraged if you can't hit every mark that the coach is asking for. Again, focus on your own abilities and trying to improve those abilities. Don't try and make your abilities equivalent to someone else, because that'll discourage you and it'll dissuade you from that consistency and getting out and doing what you need to do. There we go. Week 2, run 4, done and in the books. This one was interval training, just some short intervals. Warm up, some 5K pace, 10K pace, mile pace. It was a nice little run, nothing too difficult, nothing too strenuous on the legs, which in this early part where I'm running pretty much every day, I do appreciate that. I do wonder when this weather's gonna change. I've been very fortunate with the runs and the weather that I've had. I think this morning, sunny, no clouds in the sky. I think about 58 degrees Fahrenheit, light breeze. It's pretty much perfect conditions for running. No real major coaching point for today. Just enjoy the nice weather while you can. Take advantage of the moments that you have. Enjoy your surroundings, take them in, and just keep putting one foot in front of the other. All right. Week 2, run 5. Done and in the books. This was a 20-minute recovery run. This was definitely one of those runs that I did not want to do, but I still did it. And I think it's important to be saying that to anybody watching this as they're training, especially early in training. If you're not used to what it is that you're doing, things are gonna hurt. It's gonna be tough to get up and do the things that you would set out to do, but just try and get them done. The early part of this run, I was taking super easy, a very light jog, because my legs are tired from a leg workout. And as I got into it, probably about 8 minutes in, 9 minutes in, I started to feel a little more normal. But even then, I ran the whole thing with leg fatigue and just at a very easy, relaxed pace. Still got it done. So just keep that in mind, that if you don't have that motivation, if something is really hard for you to do, just ease your way into it. Just if it's lifting, if you're doing a strength exercise, just do the exercise without weights to start. Just get your arms moving, your legs moving, whatever it is, to start feeling like you can do something. For me, at this end of week 2, which is early, it's only a Thursday, this is 10 runs in 11 days with 4 leg workouts, and the long runs were what was it, an 8K and a 10K? It's about 5 miles and 6 miles. That's a lot in a short period of time. Honestly, I'm surprised I made it. I am definitely feeling fatigue. It'll be nice to have these next 3 days where we're traveling and I won't be running. My legs will definitely need it. We'll get into week 3, which is another shortened week since I have to travel that weekend. But we'll get it done. I know to stay within my own capabilities and not get discouraged if I am feeling slow, tired, if I have to stop and walk and rest for a bit. But that is my finish line for week 2 crossed. I will see you at the starting line for week 3.